Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the extra time segment for Arsenal 0, Everton 1. Everton's first win at the Emirates since 1996. It was won in a very interesting fashion, shall we say. We ground out a nasty win, and it's always nice to grind out a nasty win. And with that in mind, we've got Mike from the Unholy Trinity podcast on the show. We've got Owen on the show as well, so I'm going straight into Owen. Who else do we turn to after we've ground out a 1-0 win? Owen, how did you find that one?
It was an important win. I think it really does get us back into the top 6, top 7 picture, which until the recent blip we've kind of had with our main objective is up for the season, getting into Europe. It's definitely still on now. I was thinking more at half time though. I think Sheffield United come Wolves, 2 games against Aston Villa. There was that ample opportunity for us to win them games. So I was thinking at half time when we looked like it didn't look like a game we were going to win, in my opinion anyway. That protect the points, get out with the point, and then you go and build that for them games to then target them as must wins, and then that'll probably get you enough points. But the fact that we still went on and won it is all the more pleasing because it takes us from a position of, if we'd have lost everything, we'd have been out of it. A draw sets us up nicely, I think, to keep Arsenal and that away from us, but it doesn't really do too much for us to catch the others, and a win, I think it really puts us in a stronger position to qualify for Europe. And it was a big winner, another top 6 ground that, well, no, they're not top 6, are they? But they're a...
It's just a Super League opposition we've just beaten.
Yeah, we're a very average team we've beaten, but historically we're not very good against Arsenal. So,
That's all.
Yeah, it's a very good win for us. It's another win against a club that we'll probably expect to beat Everton. So another huge feather in the cap of Carlo Ancelotti. You can go to any of these grounds and pick up a win on any given day. And I think if we have a strong end to the season getting to Europe, I think it wouldn't be, for me, the ability of the squad, but a testament to the manager that we've got there.
Yeah, we grind out these results, and I think we've learned this season. I think this team isn't that good. We're good at grinding these results out. We've got to find a way. And in fairness,
Everton wouldn't get into the Champions League, definitely not. But they certainly wouldn't, or any kind of Europe or any kind of success. Everton will not do that by slicking 4-0 every week and playing 600 pass football and looking pretty. Everton,
teams with limited resources, but I'm not saying we've got limited resources, but we've not Super League.
We're competing with teams who have got enough financial clout they can cobble together a Super League. So it's difficult. So Everton aren't going to compete with these teams by slicking it about or anything. It's about battling and digging in and seeing the game out, and we do that really well. It's against the other teams who we have struggled against this season, particularly at Goodison, where we're going to have to bring that battle and quality back to get over the line and get enough points, which will then see us in some form of European football next season, especially with the League Cup final results. I think that gives us a boost. So overall, I couldn't be happy with the result because I think it sets us up nicely to where then the squad has the focus and they know what they need to do now.
Yeah, Mike, with that in mind, what would you sort of do moving forward? The next game, is it West Ham? Next game, or is it Villa?
Villa Saturday.
With that in mind, do we still need to probably improve our performance? Would you say it was a win, but it wasn't the best win? Let's be honest.
It wasn't, though. We say it though. You take any kind of win, and the fact that we played pretty well against Spurs, probably the best we played since the Merseyside derby, in my opinion. 2 mistakes cost us the 3 points there. We played okay against Palace, created a lot of chances against Palace. I think over those 2 games, Palace and Spurs, it was 36 attempts on goal, which is not bad, So those two games we played probably better football. We were certainly slicker against Tottenham than we were against Arsenal. I think obviously it was the right time to play Arsenal without the two main goal scoring threats in Aubameyang and Lacazette. Obviously all the issues surrounding the Super League, the protest outside the ground, won't have helped matters either. So a great time for us to go there and get a win. And like Owen was saying then, at that half time, you're probably thinking, another draw on the cards here, you can see it. Although I thought the last sort of 15 minutes of the first half, we were a lot better. We played much better football. We were the better side, that's for sure. We ended the half the better side. But second half, yeah, very, very much grinding things out. And, it was just a case of sitting in there. And we've touched on this, I think, on previous shows where we've mentioned about the lack of trust maybe Carlo's got in a lot of his players. So probably players can't play in a Carlo Ancelotti system, or he doesn't trust them to play in the system effectively. So until he gets his own side and his own signings across the board, we're going to have a bit of this, aren't we? But I think when it comes to the Villa game, Villa obviously have had a half decent season. I think they're 7 points behind ourselves. We've got to play them twice over the next 3 or 4 weeks, which is just incredible and diabolical planning on behalf of the Premier League. But they're not a bad side. They're not the same side as they are with Jack Grealish. I think Ross Barkley's massively struggled since Grealish got injured as well. But yeah, I think that with the Villa game, we can afford to be a bit more expansive, probably a bit more like we played against Spurs, to be perfectly honest. I'd expect us to try and set up in a similar way. But I'm quite satisfied now with the fact that we've got the majority of our players back from injury as well, besides the core, really, who obviously you'd want in there, starting week in, week out. We're firing all cylinders on that front now, compared to a few weeks ago when we had about 8 or 9 first teamers out. So I fully expect it to be a bit more of an open game than it was against Arsenal. We'll fully expect us to have too much as well, but who knows? This season's so strange. Our home form is so poor. You can't sort of look at one performance and guarantee that you're going to go into the next game and get a win. It's just, with us especially, it's just so unpredictable at the moment.
They've had a half-decent season, but let's not forget they've spent 200 million since they've come up themselves.
Of course.
So they're not exactly battling against the odds, are they? I think they're doing around about what they should be with the money they've spent. They're a decent team, but they're not a team I think Everton should be concerned to play in either, because they're hit and miss themselves, especially as you said about Jack Grealish. I think that I watched them against West Brom last night and they're all right. They've got a decent team. They're a top half team, but I do think if we want to get into Europe, we have to beat Aston Villa.
Definitely.
But who knows?
If we don't, we'll have that similar. If not, we'll be ending up there or thereabouts in the same place in the table as them. So,
I don't think they'll come and make it awkward either. I think they'll come and have a go. So that probably plays into our hands a bit more.
Yeah, that suits us a lot more.
So
I think though a lot of it's down to mentality, isn't it? The players have got to be thinking now. The target, Champions League, is a very, very difficult target to achieve. Like you said before, Owen, we're not a Champions League side. We've got to be honest about that. If we qualify for the Champions League, as much as we might bring in 3 or 4 quality signings, it's going to be a struggle regardless, because of the quality in the Champions League year in, year out. The aim obviously is Europe. The aim should be probably 5th or 6th. That should be what we're looking at. And the players have got to get on board and now start to think, well, we've got 6 games to go. Our destination is in our hands. The destiny's in our own hands. And we've got to play like a side who can qualify for European football. We can't be going into games and be sort of, just tiptoeing around and playing things safe. We've got to go and take a few chances as well. And certain players have got to take a little bit of a risk in terms of how we play, because it is there for the taking. And we've got to want it. Because I know as fans we all want it, and I know Carlo, it's part of his plan for us to get European football, and it's massively important for us going forward that we that we get European football on a regular basis to attract better quality of players. So the mentality of the players is key going to every single game now, and that starts Saturday. It's six cup finals, so to speak. But we've got to approach each game thinking that we can go and get points from every single game.
That's it. Like I've said this on a number of occasions when throughout the second half of this season is every game we go into is a question: how much do these players want to play in Europe next season? What's their hunger like? What's their desire like? And I think the performance was poor against Arsenal, but we got the result. We ground it out.
I don't think it was a poor performance. I think it was very good in terms of shutting Arsenal down, because we weren't going to go there and play the same way as them and expect to win, because they've played the same pretty much style of football for about 25 years now straight. I mean, different managers, but they play the same way no matter where they go. We, on the other hand, we've been in the midst of about 10 different styles over the last 25 years, and not one of them have delivered the amount of trophies they've won. So we had to go there and see the game out. I think we got lucky with the goal. We probably didn't do enough to win the game, but neither did they, I think. So I think it happens sometimes. We definitely deserve to beat Tottenham and Crystal Palace. So we're still probably, a couple of points down to where we should be on the basis of them two performances.
Yeah, definitely. I think with that in mind, we've got to create a bit more though against Villa.
Yeah, our own game. I think naturally, you're going to need to. I think it's the first goal. Like, if we score the first goal, I think more often than not we go on to win it. I think if we don't score the first goal, then sometimes it becomes a bit more difficult. But I think we just need to set up the game to try and go and get in front and then see the game out again. I think that's how it's going to be.
That's how it's been most of this season. That's how we've been most effective.
I think that's been the way with 90% of the teams in the league this season. I don't think anyone in the Premier League in the current circumstances blows teams away every week except Man City. I think everyone else, it's 2-1s, it's 1-0s, it's 3-2s. I can't think of many teams who have put a string of games together where they've won 3 and 4-0 or even 2-0 on a regular basis.
Hey, carry on like this, it could be Burnley next.
Say that again, sorry.
Carry on like this, it could be Burnley next.
Well, yeah.
In there.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But even if you look historically, that's a major sort of exception to the rule. They're the kings of the 1-0. So even if I think 4-0 once every couple of years sort of balances that out. But I was going to say the only team we've probably done that put together a string of results together, apart from Man City, and where they've ended up winning 4-1 and 4-5-2 was probably us at the start of the season. And yeah, we get criticised from our fans for not having any good performances all season. Apparently, we just rose our luck to the position we're in, which is a load of nonsense. I think people can have their opinions all they like, but it's difficult when we've been trying to ride 10 first team injuries for a lot of the season and be successful. So I'll take any win we can get at the moment, and if we can get our way to some form of European football, then all the better.
That'll be a good season if but even that Conference League, I'd have any of it. Literally just get us into Europe.
I don't know the permutations about where it finishes, where it gets what, but at the end of the day, if we try and win every game between now and the end of the season, we'll leave ourselves in a really good position, even if we don't, because we'll have set out on a positive mentality to go and win the games. And yeah, I think for the last couple of games, we need a return of keeping clean sheets. And if we keep a clean sheet in every game, we're guaranteed something from it. I think that's the minimum.
It is. It's the fundamental,
if
isn't
we do
it?
that, we don't get points.
Owen's favourite clean sheet mentality. I mean,
I wasn't thinking of that. I was just thinking of keeping a clean sheet. So,
but it's the clean sheet mentality that delivers all season for us, though. It's when we've done generally quite well defensively, and that's the reason we are where we are, because we've not been that great attacking most.
We had a rocky spell before we played Burnley, and then when we played, Delph went off injured because he ran a bit, and Godfrey went left back. Then from then on, from that month or so, we did really well, and then from the derby, Southampton and West Brom, they were very much backs to the wall performances as well. So I think we've just got to look around. I think our best way of getting results in these last couple of games is just trying to keep a clean sheet and trust that moment of quality will get us over the line. And then in the summer, we can look at recruitment in ways that we can become a little bit more creative and maybe take the game away from some teams earlier on. But just let's get to the position where we've got the financial ability to do that by qualifying for Europe rather than try and impose some idealistic nonsense on the football team now that won't get us into Europe, and then we're just left with a style that hasn't delivered when we can just get there by hook or by crook now.
Absolute scenes after we said all this, and Leeds finish above us.
Well, good. Leeds can do whatever they want. They've spent 100 million as well, by the way. So there's a strong correlation to these.
The majority of the Premier League, they've spent 100 million. I don't know why we've been painted as this I mean, ultra spending team, because most mid-table teams have spent as much as we have at this stage. Mid-table teams, I don't know about mid-table teams. Brighton in 17th and Fulham in 18th are probably 6th and 7th on the net spend list in the last 3 or 4 years, and between them, one of them look like they're going to get relegated this season. So it proves that doing it the right way and spending loads of money and putting in a young English idealistic coach doesn't exactly work all the time. Maybe. Yeah, but they wear good G-Leys though, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, utter nonsense. One of them's going to get relegated this season. I couldn't be happier.
And then we're going to poach the manager.
No, we're not. To be honest, I've heard Finch Farm's looking for a new chef. So I think Scott Park looks like an absolutely brilliant chef.
To be fair, Scott Parker was in a McDonald's advert when he was a kid, so he's got a track record.
Well, it hasn't got much better from him since, has it?
Not really, no. But I think definitely the pragmatic approach is getting us the results this season. It's apart from those opening games where we were really good to watch. It's not been, like you say, it's not been the time or the place for it this season. The pragmatism has been the order of the day for the whole league, bar and City. And
even Chelsea, every game's 1-0 or 2-1. Chelsea, as good as they've been under Thomas Tuchel, they've been mostly winning by fine margins.
They've been winning off same as us, they've been winning off the back of a strong defence.
Yeah. They might play a slightly different style in terms of what they do with and without the ball, but they haven't been, blowing teams away or making games ultra exciting. They've been doing it their own way. Man United, it's mostly been 2-1s when you conceded the first goal, and it's been like a slog to go and win the game. Liverpool games, I don't watch Liverpool much, but the times I have seen, they haven't been very entertaining. Tottenham, they speak for themselves in terms of what they've done this season. They had 2 shots in the cup final the other day, so they're not particularly entertaining. So all these teams who I'm told are brilliant football teams.
Super League.
The Super League teams. Even the Super League teams, Leeds have the last couple of weeks 1-1, 2-1. Most of the league play tight, edgy football. Football's a low-scoring game, so getting on the right side of the margins is key, and that's all we've been doing all season. But I'm sure someone with incredible statistic knowledge will be telling me we should be 18th really or some nonsense, and maybe he'll buy out like that in the future. I don't know, but ultimately we can only get to the summer and improve. The football only ever gets better at a team with the better players you're buying. The midfield at the moment, I don't personally think are capable of playing free-flowing football.
Not a chance. You have to be able to walk, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Andre Gomez will never take them cement blocks off his feet.
No, we won't. I'm not going to go on about him anymore.
And
Because
Fabian Delph will never get them pitching wedges of his feet. That no look pass he played the other day.
No, it's too bad when he came on, to be fair, but it's a low bar.
I mean, it's a low bar, but there's no look pass, certainly when it managed to sort of catch a few eyes.
No. I think the thing with our midfield is I think there's a lot of technically decent to good footballers in there, but I don't think there's enough players in there who are capable of being effective in the Premier League, and I think that's ultimately
we need more crafters.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We need more Decores.
That's literally it. The season's only been uncertain in terms of what it'd be for us since he got injured. Until that point, I was very confident that we'd get in the top 6.
I keep going back to where someone told me at the start of the season that he hadn't had a good game for Everton at that point. I mean, I don't know what they were watching, but yeah, apparently he didn't have a good game.
For me, he's up there for player of the season, Decore.
I think he'd probably get my vote, to be honest, when he was playing, because he was the epicenter of anything that went well for us. So, yeah, I think him up, Ben Godfrey, maybe. One of them two, certainly, for me, because I think they've been the most consistent performers, personally.
Well, it's out.
That's enough of me rambling on. For me, people have bingo cards for me probably at this point, because I say the same thing every week about we're really doing well to be where we are because of the limitations of the midfield and the squad as a whole. I think we're doing really well, I think, to be where we are, because I think without the sort of tactical tweak from the manager, we're a different manager, put it this way. I think we'd be about 12th or 13th this season.
Probably. But I think if they've got a bingo card for you, they must have a bingo card. Everyone must have to take a shot whenever I say that bingo's every game's a question about how much the players want it, because like I think I've said that since like January, every like extra time without fail. So, there's going to be some inebriated viewers on the show.
With there not being much change all season on what we've done, I don't see how we can change too much of what we say, because I don't think the situation changes too much from week to week. So it's all about points at the end of the day.
But yeah, I think in terms of the Arsenal game, I think we should still be pleased we got over the line. It's another unwanted record. I'll come to you on this one, Mike. Should the players take confidence in the fact that it's yet another unwanted record thrown away now?
I think a lot of that comes back to the manager, in terms of the mentality that he's probably instilled. I mean, he's not going to these places, is he, with loads of history of being Everton's manager and losing for so many years and having that mentality. He's going in there. He's a winner. Obviously, he's been Chelsea manager in this country. He's been obviously around Europe. I think the players would be daft if they don't. I know it's a different kind of game, football at the moment with no fans. We know that's definitely impacted results, because results are massively skewed now in terms of the number of away wins that we're seeing over the course of this season, especially. So yeah, that certainly plays into it. But the players, what it does do is it tends to put games on a more of a level playing field, so to speak. So it's 11v11, no outside interference, no say crowd intimidation, whether it be towards the referee or opposition players and things like that. So I think they should be taking a bit of confidence in terms of how they've gone to these places. Spurs, opening day of the season, Anfield, obviously our biggest one from a fan point of view, and then the longest one with us going to Arsenal. So I think the players would be daft not to, and we've got to see it as a positive, and that's where I think the frustration comes in, doesn't it? Because if you would have picked up maybe 2 or 3 more wins at home from games we've lost to the likes of West Ham, Newcastle, sides like that, then imagine where we'd be now. And that's where the frustration, I think, comes in. But yeah, the confidence for the players has got to be there. It's got to be there, and they've got to be thinking now. We have beaten Arsenal away, we've beaten Spurs, we've beaten Liverpool. We've took a point off United at Old Trafford. We've beaten Chelsea at home, Arsenal at home. We're taking points off all the so-called the better sides on paper. So the players should be, the confidence should be sky high. But whether or not, because the home form's been so poor this season, especially against the lesser side, so to speak, whether that plays into the minds as well and sits at the back of the mind, I don't know.
Or when we go into a game against like Sheffield United at home in a few weeks.
Exactly, and even Villa to a certain extent on Saturday, even that kind of side, they were sitting in their armoured table. I think they're 11th, aren't they, at the moment? And sides that we should be beating. That if that's a full Goodison Park, then we win the game. In my opinion, that's where the doubts come in at the moment. But we've got to turn the corner at some point. We've had a slight upturn with a couple of draws that we should have really won, and we played okay in both those games. So yeah, they've got to be confident. If they're not, then they're in the wrong game, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, certainly. So with that in mind, what do we do? Is it more of the same, or more of the same with an improved performance, maybe?
Yes, like I say, I think we'll see a bit more open football. I think Owen said the same. Villa won't come and just try and sit. So there'll be a bit of space to exploit as well. So it's going to be a bit more like a Tottenham game for me, like I said before. I fully expect.
I see this being quite end to end. The next one.
It's going to be a lot more entertaining. Yeah, a lot more entertaining than the Arsenal and the Brighton game, that's for sure.
Well, it couldn't get much worse than the Brighton game, my God.
Well, it takes two to tango, and they weren't very entertaining as well. But they play entertaining football apparently, so can't say
that's the right way. 0-0 draws is the right way to play.
1-0's away at Sheffield United, getting beats the right way. So,
oh yeah, cracking. Let's put them right back in the mire. But with that in mind, anyway, we'll leave it at that. Arsenal 0, Everton 1. Let us know your opinions on a long-awaited win that gets us back on track. Drop us a comment, give this video a like, and subscribe for more content. And until next time, guys, thank you for tuning in on the Toffee Blues.